Hey, Michelle, I'm sure he wants to talk to you.
Is there a problem, sir?
This is right away.
Truck, trailer belong to you folks?
Was her?
Me?
Okay.
But this is right away. This isn't Walmart. This property we're sitting on, that's not Walmart property. If you're here, like, on behalf of Walmart, this would not be their property. We're outside the property lines. Yeah.
This is
Yeah, we kind of, yeah, we would never violate property rights.
Right here. So, there we go. Okay. No, you go down. Okay. Yeah, this is Walmart right there, and then this blue dot is us. We are
Officer Wall.
And where does that come from?
The GIS maps. It comes
Onyx Hunt. It's off of the auditor's.
the assessor's
Are you on
side.
the Rockwall County GIS website?
You can verify with them. It's going to match perfectly. It's
It's not for me to verify.
But it's no, you have to because this is.
No, sir, I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, listen. You're talking over me. That's not okay. You're a public servant, bub. First off, listen. You're a public servant. Now, listen. Rockwall County's not open. It matches GIS. It matches GIS. It comes from the GIS.
I wouldn't trust that. What I would do is go to the Rockwall GIS website. I use it myself to look up tax records.
We've been using this for years. It's never been a problem.
That it is owned by.
Walmart can only extend their authority to their survey lines.
And then we saw the for sale sign, which also tells us that we're not.
Well, yeah.
Walmart.
This is not Walmart's property. This actually, their property don't start till that line because the fire lane's not theirs
Are you
either.
guys trying to sell some stuff?
No, we're a church and we travel around the country doing missionary work.
Yeah, it's all donation.
Donation based?
Yep.
I'm an ordained minister at Church of Common Good. My name's Pastor Andrew Stevens. It's trustee Michelle Kellison. She's the treasurer of the church.
Do you have your charter for the church?
Yeah, we have a charter online. I mean, we have paperwork. It's sure, yeah.
Pretty sure I have it printed.
Pardon? Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta get my binder out.
Yeah, but Walmart can only extend their authority to their own property, though. Walmart's trying to extend their authority to public property. It happens a lot. Well, I mean, you don't violate property rights. You always you be nice. I mean, if Walmart, they were trying to trespass us from Walmart property, we're not on Walmart property. So his idea was to come up kind of heavy-handed. That was like a little we call it bootstrapped, or you know what I mean, just heavy-handed. And we deal with that a lot, especially when we have corporate regulations like Walmart that are controlling and dictating the way public service act. And then you have municipality police that are hired on. You can't run against them, and you have things like that around the country. And as a public air ministry, we have to deal with that in society. But I try to educate the cops if they want to listen. Sometimes they don't listen. It's being a Saturday, his bosses aren't there. It's a pain in the butt a lot of times. But in reality, this is not their property. This where you're standing at is not their property either. The Walmart's property starts right there on the other side of the fire lane. But being a Saturday, he says, well, do you verify your data with Rockwall GIS mapping, which the data is already coming from. So it's an ongoing thing, and this is what makes God's ministry so difficult to do. So it's what makes the body of Christ. It's agents. They're agents. Saul of Tarsus was the same similar agent, but he had the scales taken away from his eyes. He saw, and sometimes it takes a road to Damascus for people to understand that God's ministry works in astounding ways. And if he be with me, who can be against me? So that's kind of how he treated. I tried to talk. This guy, he didn't like that I said something that was contrary to what he believed, so he was upset about that. It upset him. So he then, when I said this isn't Walmart's property, that's contrary to his belief that it is Walmart's property, because Walmart just told him it was. So that's contrary to his belief, and since it's contrary to his belief, he didn't like that. And so if he doesn't respect the GIS maps, we'll pack up and make him happy, but we'll make a report with a supervisor and start a paper trail on that.
What is the website that has
Guide Star.
Guide.
Just type in Church of Common Good Guide Star. It's got your name on it. I even saved it. It's got your EIN, everything. Guide Star is the federal database of nonprofits. So, right. They do that a lot. Yeah. Because you were giving food to someone. Let's see how the police handle it. I mean, this is something we have to worry about first. I mean, you can probably handle it to the kids. Blade, if somebody can help out here while I'm taking this camera. I'm doing a camera. I have to deal with the police, so I can't do these other parts. I'm running, so I'm dealing with the police. I have to do that. Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's Officer Rawala, I think is what it said. He's Unit 2038. He was told by Walmart to trespass. He came up with a trespass order already in hand. Walmart seems to think that this is not Walmart property, but it seemed to think that everything within their site is Walmart property. When in reality, this property is belongs to Royce City LLC, and it is for sale, as you can see right here from this sign. It is a property that is for sale, 36 acres, and we are parked on this area. Walmart property doesn't start until when you cross this fire lane into the Walmart parking lot, and it moves that direction there. He's checking, I guess, with someone else to make sure our church is legitimate now, which I guess that's the new issue, is that since we're a church, he wants to make sure that's legitimate as well. So we're going into the secondary and non-primary reasons to stop. So now since I couldn't get you for this one thing, let me see what else I can use to harass you, which is what we see police do often, is that when they're called by, whether it be a Walmart or a Karen or an anonymous caller, they then utilize, and they show up that there's no crime being committed. They'll start looking for other reasons to give you a hard time, which is completely contrary to how policing should work. In this case, we have the issue again where Walmart doesn't own the property, but there's fashion police going on. And Israel, you might want to start packing it up though, because it's going to end that way anyway. So just go ahead and do it. So I can tell from the way this cop is acting, he's already going to be a stiffler. Here's another one right there. Where's Michelle at? Hey, will you hold this for a second? Okay.
You just gotta pet them like you know them.
I can use it. It's fine.
Okay. Well, they're packing. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, we can always use those.
Also, some survival food from Capable Patriot the last 20 years. It tastes awesome. We just add hot water. I have 2 tubs. Yeah, so I've got that. They're in the tank. Just 2 containers. This one is you should buy for the same. I've got 12. I've got more toilet paper, but I've got 2.
Officer. I guess he's doing research now. He's coming back out. No, don't walk away from the cop, so that way it doesn't bother him.
I'll start gathering this. We start gathering stuff. Or?
I mean, I imagine you start packing it up. I'm not sure if she's talking to him over here, showing him our church paperwork. Oh, you did that? So now she's showing him the survey lines.
Red line, which is the fire lane.
Yeah, we're not here to cause any trouble. I mean,
No, he's just looking at
yeah, I didn't mean to have data that didn't concur with his data. I apologize for that, officer. I really wasn't trying to have data that didn't concur with yours. I know that sometimes, right. But we run a country, when we're traveling to a ministry, you can imagine how often, like, various places, Walmart's a big one. So Walmart gets a lot of the traffic in areas, and when they've consolidated the majority of the traffic in areas, it consolidates all the traffic, including nonprofits that are doing ministry work, the Word of God. And it's unfortunate that sometimes they do extend past their survey points, but we always check beforehand. Like, and he came out this morning, we were on their property. A lot of times people Walmarts don't care, you know. They'll let you sell puppies in the backyard, back of the property or whatever, they don't care. But so it depends on where you're at. They could say, don't be on our property, and they have all the right in the world to say that.
It'd be like me being on your property.
Yeah, absolutely. We would never, ever disrespect that. But yeah, the GIS map is what the Onyx Hunt uses. And we have had to take them to the courthouses to verify, especially cops. They usually call them in, though. Like, they have access to GIS better than we do when your cop comes up. Oh, yeah, so you got access to it. But I'm sure it'll match. I'll let you do your job. I know it's hard to think while someone's talking to you. Thank you, officer. So he's just checking everything out, make sure everything is what we say it is.
Michelle says that he's a God-fearing man, that he believes that God gave the government the authority to rule over the people.
Well, Jesus, I do want to explain that, because it's important for people to know that Jesus moved around from place to place with no money, copper, gold, silver, or 2 pair of tunics. Yeah, I do want to make sure God-fearing people understand this. Yeah, and I'm not in a habit of going around I'm an ordained minister, so I'm trying not to be too much of a habit of push on everybody. But I want everybody in America to understand that Jesus was a man who had no place to lay his head. So when we did our ministry, the church was kind of apprehensive about us leaving with nothing, like zero. No gold, no copper, no silver, no tunic, not even 2 pair of tunics. The church, the trustees were apprehensive about that. But in reality, that's what discipleship was. And that's what it is today. And while it's difficult, it was difficult then too. There was a Sanhedrin, and there was King Herod, and there were Romans. They were out to stop the Word of God. None of this has changed over time. The tactics have modernized like everything else in the world. And now we're moving to a point in America where there's like a fashion police. People call you and you want to service the public, you know. I get it. You get a complaint call and they want to make the public happy. But a lot of times the public are not taking into consideration what's the law and what's the right, you know, and like they don't know anymore. Civics. When's the last time someone learned civics in this country? So we're having a situation where people call the cops for everything, and they use the cops for things that private security could do or that aren't laws at all, and that's what we're trying to control. Just so you know, I'm not bucking authority or trying to be. I'm not an auditor. It's just you showed up, and I'm like, this is something that's going on in society. And as a street ministry, we had to deal with this a lot. I was in Bakersfield, California, and we had a sign. I was holding a sign that said Jesus was a transient, and we were working with the homeless coalition at the time, trying to help feed the homeless. I mean, that's what our goal was. But in Bakersfield, that didn't go over well. It didn't sit well with some of the locals, I guess. And one of the local church pastors had to come and stop the cop from it was harassment. I mean, I'm sure that somebody called him, you know, but he was bothering us for holding a sign that said Jesus was a transient. He called it panhandling. I said, that's not panhandling. But it's not. It wasn't supposed to.
People for money is paying.
Right. But he was trying to apply it because the sign holding kind of is similar in the way it looked. And just applying a law in a way that really shouldn't have been applied. And the pastor had to say, he told us that he does soapbox preaching at the fairgrounds, and he got pulled out one time and arrested and dragged out of the fairgrounds for soapbox preaching. And he's like, this is a county property. I try to explain that usually events are a little different, though, because there's somebody paying money for an event rental, usually for fairgrounds. But we see this around America. So we are challenging not man's authority, because we do follow man's law, but man's see, the law is one thing, and the application of a law in a way to make people happy that's not really part of the law is a whole different subject. So you can't lobby for laws to be changed that are already benefiting what you're doing or already legitimizing what you're doing. There's no way to lobby to make it legal to do street ministry. It's perfectly legal. So I say the same things I was told years ago when I said, well, if you don't like the law, change it. And I tell people who don't like that, if they don't like street ministry, whether they be Wiccan or pagan or whatever reason, maybe they just don't like the way we look. Maybe we're not the eyes of the certain church they want to see. Maybe they want a church to be wearing a suit. I have a suit. I can put a suit on for if they want me to, but I don't want to. I feel like people are trying to dictate what the appearance of things are. But I just wanted to get that out because I heard you're a man of God, and I want to know that I wanted you to know how this ministry started.
I'm a Christian.
It's Christian.
I was born again in 2000.
So then you understand the ministry of Jesus Christ.
I do, but I believe more than spread letters of the Bible. I believe the whole Bible.
Oh, you go with the Judaic part too, the Judeo scriptures. My mom does too.
As it was given to us.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a New Testament preacher.
I understand that, but the Old Testament testifies of Christ.
It does.
And
It does.
It foreshadows him to come.
It
Moses,
does.
type of Christ. David, type of Christ. Joshua, type of Christ. The
Jacob.
Ark, a type of Christ. Jacob, I don't know how God could love Jacob. Right? He said he hated Esau.
Yeah,
But how could he love Jacob? Jacob was a liar and a circlighter, wasn't he?
he did.
He was,
did
but
lie.
he did, right? Because he loves liars like us.
He loves all of us. Yeah,
Exactly.
he loves all of us.
No, I can't find it right now. I'm not going to hold
It
When I do find it,
this
I'll
this
come back.
fire lane right here isn't even theirs either. It's
Well-
their property starts at this easement, or I guess it's an island right here.
I would probably dare to say that the parking lot belongs to them.
Apparently this is not part of the parking lot. It's like a roadway, a fire lane that's specifically for like you or.
to somebody.
Well, they probably paid for it, but they're probably required to for like a city abatement or something, tax abatement.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Look it up.
They likely had a tax abatement if they put this in.
But you don't have the permission of the property owners that you're on, right?
But they haven't called you, yeah, right. And but also, and I think we're not on easement. We're on Royce City LLC, which is probably Royce City Realty LLC.
I'm sure it's-
If they called you, we'd leave. But I'd imagine they just tell us to leave, and we're not here to bug authority. I just know that with Walmart, they have a commercial business. They should just stay to the commercial business and do what they do. Why
They have
impede?
people that come out and solicit and try to get people license.
Right.
Is that what you folks are trying to do?
No, we do donations, and all of our work is a nonprofit. We have zero. We don't have salaries. So.
But they do. It's
Right.
So they assume because we're citizens.
Right. We don't have the church bus anymore. It broke down, so we had to buy this. It's
Soliciting, it's still.
they have to have a permit for the city. Other than they can't enforce permits, that'd be an issue. So you can't only enforce it because the permit is a tax. So I looked this up too.
understand.
They're not issuing. You're right about that.
They're not issuing.
And a permit process that is not attainable is an unenforceable law. It's a tax. And you can't restrict anybody. That's it's not either here nor there. We're not following the category. But no, because they're not issuing it. That's the thing is they're putting you under the gun there.
But it's really.
But if they're not issuing it, it's unenforceable. So they're putting you under the gun. You're the one that's on the hands. You're on the ground. So when you run into that situation, you have this thing that's on the books. It should be enforceable because the ordinance was passed. The city hall decided on it. But yet, since they're not issuing it to anyone, they can't enforce it because that's the law. That's how the whole law, the state laws.
Well, that would be like saying someone's speeding down the highway and there's 300 people that speed.
Well, you're talking about permits, so tax. We're discussing taxes.
I'm talking about ordinances, about laws.
Right, but permits and tax is a little different than ordinance because it's not under a statute like you're talking about Title 12. It's not or article. It's
It's our own ordinances.
yeah, the nuances, penalty, crimes and nuances.
Our own ordinances also cover state law.
Yeah.
Right? Because they just say
They complement state laws. But it's always for the safety and security.
But my point is
Yeah.
just because they don't enforce it on 300 other people because there's just not enough cops to put you on the speed limit doesn't mean you can't enforce it on others.
Right. It's
That makes sense.
when the cameras show, because right now we don't. America, I guess, is not going to argue with cops because why? The problem with America now is that we have to go through formal, and cops shouldn't have put us in this position. We have to go through formal procedures now with lobbyist organizations in order to get what's already ours. The right to freely move through our country, ingress and egress any state, the right to propagate our religion, the right
Are
to
you
keep
telling me you can't leave right now?
without free of taxation. That's what the law.
Who's going to tax you?
Well, you're talking about permit. That's taxation itself. So, but they're taxes. A permit is a tax. So these constitutional values are often attacked by law because rights are written first, then law is supposed to be written in a way to but never conflict with the Constitution. So then people are like, well, what if we just read a little different? And that's what we're getting at in America. That as a society, we're like, no, we're not going to interpret law on a case-to-case basis until a judge who has a legislative authority does that. Or judicial. You have legislative authority, judicial authority, and then you guys have execution authority, which I respect it all. I just don't think that the executive branch is taught or cares to be taught in the same way a legislative or judicial branch does, unless they decide to, personally.
I'm a strict constitutionalist. I
as well.
read the Constitution for myself. And I understand that that's why we wrote it down so you and I, common people, can read it and apply it for ourselves. I don't have to have someone who says, well, I'm the doctor. I know it all.
You don't know how to read this, yeah. Right. It's not written in Latin. I get it. Yeah, I think that we stay on the same page.
Don't solicit.
Oh no, we ain't gonna bother them at all. Yeah. And solicitation, it's always donations, and again, we're always nonprofit.
You understand if you're out in your parking lot walking around.
Sure. You're talking about I know. Got it. I've seen the tamales, and I get all that. I've seen it. But yeah, we're not doing any of that. We're not going to be here long term. We had to prepare for the rain coming up, and we're going to the homeless and I hate to say the word homeless, houseless people who are not currently sheltered. I mean, the home is where you are. The home's not really built upon sticks and mortar. It's built upon a thought, where you feel comfortable. And some people, while we have a 56-acre ranch in Winslow, Arizona, some people might consider us homeless because we're not at it. So when you use the word homeless and you start applying it to people based on, oftentimes will be making the assumptions, and we don't want to make asses of each other. So usually people have a home somewhere. There are homeless. We call them, they're usually local and they stay in the same area. They typically are, and I hate to say that, but from working for ministry, it's true. They're typically on drugs or alcohol. Not always, but typically. That's common. Yeah, or what? Or mental health issues. Something that's keeping them from being successful.
Just prefer to be homeless.
They are, but they usually travel when their preferences are nomadic. But they'll call themselves houses. That's what we call them, houses. Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, I can talk to you about Constitution all day, Walra. We won't bother them. I'm sorry that they took it that way to begin with. And again, we won't be in your hair tomorrow or nothing. We just raise a little bit of money for church. That's it. So, all right. Thank you so much. God bless you again. Stay frosty out
I
there.
don't think that permit came back to anything.
Which permit?
Yeah, I'm going to have to run that picture.
Well, we bought it at Cedar Creek RV.
The paperwork for it.
Yeah, we bought it down at Cedar Creek RV, the company.
When I called my dispatcher, she said it didn't come back to anything.
It should be good until then.
She may have missed a number.
And I guess because of COVID, they're sending out the titles or something. I don't. We just paid the money to them.
Then I would receive it in the mail.
I didn't see a license plate on it.
It's on the front. It's the same situation. Bought it at the same place, and it's got the same situation. But we're just waiting on the titles and everything to get in.
Where'd you buy it? In Texas?
Yes, everything's bought in Texas.
It's required to be on the back.
Okay.
I can move it.
We did not know that. I'm sorry. We will move it. I know we have something new. You have an inspection sticker. Yeah. Yeah, we got that. Oh, we have that. Okay. Yeah, put it back. He's just running again, make sure it's all fine because it didn't come back.
Then I say we stay here till 4 just to prove a point to the call.
I mean, do what? I was too. The cop is a constitutionalist, so he understands that this is we have a constitutional right to, do what we're doing. Yeah. So he's a pretty nice guy. He's looking for secondaries right now, so that makes him somewhat of a good guy. He's a good guy in the sense that he won't apply. First, that he's not trying to apply the primary without lawful reason, but now he's in the let me look for another reason mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I heard that. I was like,
Yeah.
but did you see? You guys are right.
Well, yeah, we're correct with what we're doing. Yeah, we're right.
He didn't have.
He might be able to try to find something else. I don't know. I don't think he can. We bought this stuff here, but I guess the DMV is taking some time to send us out titles and stuff. So I think the one up there is expired. This one back here is not expired yet. So because I bought the truck before we bought the trailer, so now we have a little leeway Yeah.
Wait a second. Let me show you the song.
Okay. I can refer to her.
Dealer temporary tag. That's
Yeah.
that tag, right?
Yeah.
Verify the letters and numbers.
Okay, it says the number is...
He gave you the wrong tag. He's supposed to give you a temporary tag, but he gave you a temporary dealer's tag, as if
So-
you're like a car dealer.
Oh, so I thought that was just until they got the title, and then like the mail and mail.
Yeah.
No, there's more than one temporary tag. The temporary tag they give you is
Right.
going to come back with vehicle information, not a temporary
Oh.
dealer tag.
Got you. So we should call the RV
Dealer
place.
tag. The temporary
Okay.
dealer tag is for a dealer.
So you can put it on any
Who's
car and
moving-
drive it
Who's
around.
moving a car from point A to point B.
Well, just so this guy, so he knows, grab the receipt and just
Yeah.
show him.
Yeah,
She has the receipt. I want you to see, so you know who it was. It's one of your dealers in Texas. Although I'll call the dealership. It's that Cedar Creek
But he
RV.
gave you a temporary dealer tag.
Yeah.
What's the one on the truck? You buy the
It's
truck over here?
we bought it from the guy where owned the business, Miguel. It
Did he give you another temporary dealer
is a
tag?
temporary tag, and it's expired. But we're waiting on all this paperwork coming. COVID has pushed things back. We don't know what to do next.
If you don't have a mailing address, it's hard to mail to, right?
Well, we have a PO box in Winslow.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, we just put it in the front window because there's nothing in the back because everything's covered up with the laboratory
It's supposed to
equipment.
be on the back of the bumper.
Oh, it's paper. And it was raining.
Yeah, well, a lot of people put it in plastic. Now,
Oh, plastic.
The state of Indiana is a lot smarter. They issue temporary plastic.
Like corrugated plastic or something.
So
Yeah.
much better.
That'd be so much easier.
Okay, so there is that, which is the paperwork for the tray.
I don't mind. You're not driving,
Right.
so it don't matter to me.
We're gonna take care of it, but there's only with COVID. There's so much we can get done so fast. It's not if like a lot of America stays in one place, and I guess that's where missionary work gets a little confusing. Is that most of America does stay in one place, so it's easy to wait and do things this way. But we're always on the road.
The reason I was telling you is because if you drive down the road and you pulled over, you're going to take it.
Okay.
For the.
Oh, give us not in the back because
Well,
he said put us in the back so you don't get
it's
it.
not being in the back, and for that being a temporary dealer tag. Because you're not a dealer, right?
Got it.
You sell cars.
Oh no, we bought it from a dealer.
Right.
Yeah, we just
But
bought
he
it.
gave you a
Yeah.
temporary dealer
So
tag.
yeah, he gives the wrong tag. Yeah, we'll call him and let him know.
Yeah, I'll call him.
She needs to call him anyway because the title hasn't showed up yet, and it's been a little while, and now the tag's running out of time, like this truck tag was.
Do you have a bunch of stuff there?
Oh yeah, he's got a whole bunch of RVs.
I don't.
He's selling one right now on Craigslist or on Facebook again. So we're gonna go ahead and pack up, but not because we have to. Maybe we are finished for the day, and we are gonna pack up. But just to be clear, we're doing this out of our own accord, not because of Walmart's demands. All right, thank you.